Midlife ladies out there, what is the best exercise that you should be doing? Today, I'm going to tell you. Welcome to Boom 50 Fitness. My name's Regan, and this is your channel for all things health and fitness in your 50s and beyond. In midlife, we need to change up our exercise routine a little bit. So today, I'm going to tell you the best exercise that you should be doing. When women hit perimenopause, there are a lot of changes happening to the body. So you start getting all those symptoms of menopause, and that's the time when you usually need to change up that workout routine just a little bit. And for a lot of women, this is around the time where they start to see some weight gaining, and the weight gain usually happens right around the belly. And so what do we do when we start to get some belly fat? We do what we were taught in the past. We start to exercise more and eat less. So I can tell you through personal experience, this was kind of hard for me because I was a cardio queen. I owned a spin studio. I taught a couple classes about 5 days a week. And prior to that, I was a huge runner. I taught step classes as well, and kickboxing and boot camps, you name it, I taught it. And so I was just a cardio queen. And it hit me hard. I knew that all the cardio I was doing was not helping out my body. I started doing a little research, and all the things that I learned in college and maybe things that you have been taught in the past were just counterproductive once you hit midlife. So if you're watching this video, maybe it's because you're noticing some little changes, maybe even big changes, and I am here to help. So keep watching. I will be talking about the exercises that are best for you once you're in midlife, but you have to remember that if you're struggling with your weight or you're low energy, a lot of times it comes down to the kitchen and what you are fueling your body with. But today I am specifically going to be talking about the exercises. So don't think of this as a negative. Yes, your body is going through a lot of changes, but we're going to change things up with your exercise routine so that you feel your best and you also look your best. So just like in your 20s and 30s and maybe even into your early 40s, you could eat whatever you want and you didn't see the body changes. Well, it's kind of the same way with exercise. Once you hit perimenopause, you've got to change things up because your body is just not going to work the same way it used to. And it's no big deal. Things just need to be different. And that's what we're going to talk about. So during perimenopause and into menopause, we experience higher levels of stress. And that's just due to all these changes that are happening in our bodies. And these changes are happening because of the changes in our hormones. The hormone fluctuations can stick around for a long period of time. And this is just going to increase your stress level even more. And in midlife, we're just unable to handle stress the way we used to. So the reason we can't handle stress the way we used to is just because there's so much going on in our bodies. And this causes our adrenal glands to get overused because they're overproducing cortisol. And because our ovaries are producing less hormones, the adrenal glands end up being overworked. So we basically want to try to keep the adrenal glands from getting too tired and overworked. And what is the best way to do that? Well, to keep our stress levels low. And that is why working out like a cardio queen is not going to do you any favors in midlife, because that's just more stress on the body. So if you're finding that you're gaining weight more rapidly than you ever have before, or maybe you just have that belly that you never had before, it is probably because those adrenal glands are overworked and we need to bring the cortisol levels down. What happens is you start exercising more and it ends up backfiring on you. I hear it all the time. I also see it all the time. Let's work out so that our body feels great. We have high energy levels and that cortisol stays nice and low. And if you're watching this video and you don't exercise at all, just know it is never too late to start. And when I tell you what some of the #1 exercises that you can be doing, you'll think, I got this. because you can do this. So if you're in midlife and you are new to a fitness journey, I would suggest consulting with someone, a personal trainer that specializes in midlife exercise. And if finding a personal trainer or a coach is just something you're unable to do, check out my Instagram, and I have lots of really great tips on there. And I also have tons and tons of videos right here on this channel geared for women in their midlife. So for every single one of you out there, ask yourself, am I under consistent stress? And remember, emotions that are like this is a common source of stress. And stress can also be characterized as worry or anxiety. So you've got to ask yourself that question. Am I under consistent stress? So one thing even my clients have noticed is I don't work out with them anymore. I used to work out with all my clients. I would run stairs, I would run with them, I would hop on the bike next to them or the treadmill just to keep them company. So it was all day, every day, just constant exercise. And when I reached perimenopause, I knew I had to make those changes. So one of the major changes I made was no longer working out with my clients. So I am here to support you and coach you, but I won't be doing the workouts. I may demonstrate a couple exercises, but you're the one that has to put in the hard work. And on top of that, I would do my own workouts later in the day. So my body was in overdrive. So we definitely don't want to add more stress when our body is stressed already. So like I said earlier, if you're under constant stress, your body is going to hang on to fat, specifically right around the belly. All right, so you tuned in because you wanted to know the exercise or the exercises that would be best for your body. So it's time to ditch the exercises that cause your body too much stress. So the number one exercise, if you follow me on social media, you know what's coming, is walking. Walking can actually lower your cortisol levels, and I always recommend to my clients or friends or myself that after a strength training workout, go out for a walk, because the strength training will raise your cortisol levels, because like I said, exercise is stress. So it will raise those cortisol levels a little bit, but walking is a great way to bring them back down. And you don't have to do it all at once. You can go for a 20-minute walk in the morning when you wake up, and you can go for a little walk at lunchtime. In the summertime, you can hit the pavement after dinner. So you can break it up throughout the day, but moving a lot and just walking and getting blood flow to all those muscle groups is really, really important, and it is really going to help with your stress levels. Okay, so I'm not just going to give you one exercise, I'm gonna give you several. The next thing that is really, really important is strength training, and not easy strength training, using heavy weights and pushing your body to the limit. Even before we hit perimenopause, our bodies start to lose muscle mass. That is why heavy lifting is really, really important. We want to build that muscle mass back up and then at least try to maintain it through our lifetime. And there are lots and lots of strength training workouts right here at Boom 50 Fitness. Check them out. Okay, so I've mentioned strength training and walking, and maybe you're thinking, those are great, but that doesn't get my heart rate up. Couple things you can do. On your walks, you can set a timer for, you can just walk at a normal pace for 3 minutes, and then you could set your timer for 1 minute and just pick up the pace or hit a hill. Anything that's just gonna get that heart rate up a little bit higher, so your nice little walk turns into a little bit of a cardiovascular workout too. But you don't wanna be doing the speed walking the whole time, because that will raise the cortisol levels too much. Now, the little short bursts, yes, it will raise the cortisol levels, but you'll be quickly switching back to a slower pace, and so they won't get that high. Now, with strength training, I would suggest moving from exercise to exercise pretty quickly, or doing compound exercises like mixing up a squat with an overhead press. That will get the heart rate going because you'll be working those large muscle groups, plus you'll be putting your hands over your head, and that just makes your heart work a little bit harder, so you'll get your cardiovascular exercise that way. The other thing I would suggest is maybe joining a HIIT style, high intensity interval training, or a LIT style, low intensity interval training class. And that way you mix up your strength training with some cardio bursts in between. But you have to be really aware about how hard your body is working. Remember when you would take an exercise class? This happened all the time at my spin studio, where someone would come up and they'd be like, oh my God, that workout was killer. I thought I was gonna die. And that was a little source of pride for me. I felt really good to know that the class got a great workout. Well, now in midlife, we don't want to have those workouts where we think we're going to die, and it is just so difficult. Exercise during this time of your life should be really enjoyable. And that is a huge plus. And then a couple other exercises or exercise classes that I would suggest would be a yoga class or Pilates, where you're lengthening those muscles, you're getting in some great stretches, and a lot of those Pilates classes out there and yoga classes will actually elevate your heart rate as well. And so you'll be getting that cardiovascular exercise too, without killing your body. So the key takeaway here is to keep the stress levels low, because we want to keep the cortisol levels low. And it's not that hard to do. It's actually really fun. I'll link a video here or here about cortisol, so if you're wondering if you have high cortisol levels, check it out. I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what your favorite exercises are during midlife. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I would really appreciate it. My name's Regan. This is Boom 50 Fitness, your new BFF. I will see you next Thursday.